Hello, everybody. This is John Browning with the Building Your Life podcast. We are back again today with one of the most unique and interesting guests that we have ever had here on the Building Your Life podcast. It is not your normal Building Your Life podcast today. We've got some warnings we're going to give out there. We're also going to tell you some things that are possible that some people think are not possible. And this is with probably, I don't know, let me just see here. I think you may be I've had some younger guests. You may be the youngest guest that we've ever had on the show, Matthias.
Awesome.
So good for you. And I've been very impressed as we've had a bit of a chat here before we went live. But just quickly introduce yourself, tell people what you do, why you do it, and then we'll get into a little bit about your journey, as short as it has been. Even though I know for you it seems like a long time. For somebody as old as I am, it's kind of short. But love to hear what you do, why you do it right now.
Absolutely. My name is Matthias Douglas. I'm 20 years old. As of June 1st of 2025, I had launched my own proprietary trading firm, Titan Markets LLC. I've decided to, launch it because I was like, okay, I wanted to graduate from being your typical young retail trader that watches YouTube videos 24/7, TikToks, and just get lost in the social media aspect. I decided, hey, I'm gonna branch out, go to professional trading route. I managed to do all of that within about a year. So far, it has been a very blessed journey. I want to definitely give a huge shout out to my friends and family who have supported me along the way. I definitely would not be able to do it without them. They have been awesome, awesome people. But yeah, I'm really excited to get this conversation up and rolling.
All right, awesome. So when you first started, you were actually in high school, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that. You said you were
Whew.
working at the Bed Bath and Beyond and a couple of so you were working. Just tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about the start.
So I started about my sophomore year. I was paper trading because you can't, legally trade until
Okay, hang on.
18.
Wait, wait, we got to explain what paper trading is real quick.
Paper
What's
trading,
paper trading?
I got you. Paper trading is think of like a demo account. So it's not your funds, it's not live funds or anything like that. You do not deposit your own money. I'll use a very good example. This is who I used it with. It's a platform, a charting or like, yeah, I'll probably say a charting platform called TradingView, where it has all the charts, like every single financial chart. And they have a segment called paper trade. So when you press that segment, it gets you, I think, $100,000 of fake money. This is not
Monopoly money. Yeah, this is not
monopoly
real
money.
money.
This
Yeah.
is not real money. And you trade that money to see, hey, okay, you can use different types of strategies. People have used it to really test themselves to see if they're ready to start live trading with their own funds with a real broker.
And
So
why is that important?
that is highly important because it one saves you money 100%. It 100% saves you
Because
money
you
for
will
just
make
now getting
mistakes.
started. Oh, I have made so many mistakes on paper trading. And two, it tests kind of your discipline because trading is a very disciplined thing. People have FOMO, fear of missing out. When a, I'll use an example. When oil shot up to like, what was it, $110,
Hmm.
the people that had missed that thought, oh, okay, let me get in really quickly. And then they got in, and then now they're like, how come like it just shot back down to $90 or $85? So to save all that time and to save
All that money.
all that money, they have paper trading for those who want to get started, for those who want to test strategies, and for those who's kind of like tiptoeing to see, okay, is this really for me? So it's like a very big safety net because if you kind of like I know with TradingView, you can edit how much you have. So like you could put it from I think it's $10,000 of Monopoly money to like over 1 million. It's absolutely crazy, but that definitely saved me so much money and a lot of time and a lot of mental stress because like I said, it's Monopoly money. It is not no, it is not yours. You can't deposit anything. You can't withdraw it. It does not go to your bank account. Like none of
Yeah.
that. So that
Yeah,
was
I think
very
a lot
important
of
for me to
people
do.
skip that step because they want to get going, and that's a
100%.
big, big, big mistake, right?
Yes, without a doubt. So I started that sophomore through junior year. And then since I kept testing myself, I was like, okay, I had set goals for myself. So I had said, okay, I start off with 100,000. If I can grow this to 110,000 with probably like 60% win percentage, I will feel comfortable like with like I even probably wrote it down. I have to find a notebook somewhere, but I wrote it down to myself that I will be comfortable with live trading. And I need people to really understand that, like John just said, mistakes will be made. There's rarely ever been a chance where I have not taken a loss because it's going to happen. It is 100% going to happen. And you have to understand that, yeah, you can go on a 10 plus trade winning streak, but if you make one huge mistake, that can wipe out all of your earnings. I had no idea that could even happen at that time. So I started panicking. I started freaking out. I was working at Bath and Body Works and Walgreens. So the money I had saved up when I had launched my live trading account, it was around this time 2 years ago. I was almost margin call. Now, what margin call is, let's say you have, let's see, I actually just used what I had. I had $1,000. I had $1,000 that I was trading. It would fluctuate between like 950, 1,050, 1,100. And I had made the huge mistake of news. News can have a very, very huge impact on the market. Like, we could probably get into that a little bit later, but that has a very huge impact on the market. So I end up going to hang out with some friends. I didn't check my my trading at all. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm positive, it's gonna run, it's going to completely shoot up. And then I had got a notification, hey, your account is near margin call. Now, what that means, and probably like the most simplest terms, John, please jump in if you need to. But I think in the most simplest terms, I can explain a margin call is when you do not have the funds in your account to actually continue on with a trade.
Yes. And what do you then have to do if you get margin called? You have to do one of two things.
You
You
have to deposit additional cash. And I think the other one, oh God, I just remember the one. I just remember depositing additional
well
cash.
the other option is they force you to sell no matter what the price is.
Oh, okay.
And they will do it for you
For you.
if you don't. And actually that has happened recently, and I'm going to date the podcast here a little bit, but this podcast is being recorded at the beginning of 2026. And really recently, ever since October, the market's been quite volatile.
Oh
And
yeah.
and volatility goes both ways. It goes both up and down. People forget it. Volatility is actually also to the upside, but most people just talk about it to the downside because that's where it hurts the most. And people remember pain more than pleasure. But what happened, and I'm just going to use one example here. I'll tell it really quick. In the silver market, which, believe it or not, was, and people don't believe me when I say this, silver was up significantly more than gold last year. And in the silver market, a couple things happened very quickly, literally in the exact same day. You had silver prices began to fall, and frankly, it was orchestrated. And this has been proven as fact. It was orchestrated by, we'll just say, large financial institutions that will remain nameless right now. And as the market began to fall, the at the same time the SIBO, which is the Chicago Board of Exchange, raised the margin requirement. And if you're on YouTube, you can see me using my hands to try and illustrate this a little bit. So they raised the amount that of dollars of real money that you had to have in your account in order to keep your trade going. So suddenly that margin call that was maybe $10,000 away became $500 away, and people got margin called really quickly. And you say, well, how can they do that? How can they change the rules? Well, the guys who are running the game can change the rules at any time. And when that margin call came up, suddenly people were then either forced to deposit money. Most of them did not have that money to deposit. They
Yeah.
began to get margin called and they began to be forced selling. And one person had to sell, drop the price. The next person hit their margin call, drop the price again and again and again and again. The dominoes began to fall and the silver market essentially collapsed. And again, as an example of how things happen beyond your control, that particular um, institution that had helped orchestrate this uh, came in and covered their short position, which is a position that you get after when you sell something that you don't own. And we're getting way too technical for the podcast here. But bottom line is that financial institution profited greatly. And then people would ask me, well, how's that possible? Don't they get fined? Isn't that illegal? And the answer is, yeah, kind of. But the same thing happened several years back, actually, not that long ago. And the same financial institution was fined about $900 million. And guess what? They don't care. People say, how can you not care about almost $1 billion in fine? Because they made more money on the trade than they were fined.
Right.
And so, will they get fined this time? I don't know. But bottom line is, it doesn't matter because you're an individual trader and it's your money. And I always say ticker symbol YOU is the most important one when you're trading, when you're investing, or anything. So,
Absolutely.
again, that's that word of warning. We're going to have lots of words of warning, but we also want to encourage people that if you want to trade rather than invest, the difference being trading is a day-to-day thing that you dedicate your, I'm going to say you pretty much need to do this full time. But maybe you'll
Yeah.
disagree with me, Matthias. I mean, get into that a little bit too.
Honestly, because I've tried to make it work like so many ways. I worked two jobs at once. When I went to college, I went to Northern Illinois University for a semester. I was full-time student and I had worked at a car dealership as well while still trading. And I realized this is taking like so much. I would not go to sleep till like 2, 3 in the morning. And I'm like, okay, if I really want to make this like, because it started out as a hobby, and I was like, okay, I have to make this kind of like my job. I was gonna have to transition from being it to like a hobby to being like a part-time trader to now being a full-time trader because it is just so much that is just in the trading aspect in the financial industry that you have to understand, that you have to learn. And yeah, you can definitely do it while having a job or like going to school or working 2, 3 jobs, whatever like hobbies you may have. But when you really want to start transitioning, that's when you're gonna have to kind of make those sacrifices in a way.
The way I look at it, and please, dude, this is two-way conversation, Matthias, but
Definitely, definitely.
the way I look at it is if you're going to do it as a hobby or with a job, we're going to say close out your positions when
Oh,
you're going to be
yes,
away
yes.
from your screens because like that was the first time you lost a bunch of money, right? It was
Oh,
like
yes.
you had your position on and you went to do something else and suddenly
man.
anything can happen at any time, right?
Literally. So yeah, it's definitely I had to really learn that, and I'm mainly, this goes out to everybody, but for the young generation, the young audience that is watching this and who has seen trading on like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all social media platforms, I'm not saying don't trust them, but conduct your own research because I have seen some, they call them trading gurus, charge thousands of dollars for a course, which is just a Discord or a WhatsApp or a Telegram channel. And to me, luckily, I never paid, anybody thousands of dollars to really tell me about trading. I always just went to the library or looked at YouTube and kind of conducted my own research on who I wanted to trust or like listen to. But the library and books about trading will be your best friend, without
Mhm.
a doubt, because that stuff is from actual professionals who know what they're doing, who's been in the game longer than I've been alive
Mhm.
and who understand really how it works. Now, there are some people on social media that has gotten lucky and complete, hats off to them. Congratulations to them. But there's also a lot of people that use that space to try to mess with somebody else's mind or mess with somebody else's funds and kind of like scam in a way. And I just was like, yeah, I never really, I thought, in my opinion, that's so messed up. I just could not see like myself falling that deep into it.
Yeah, I think I have actually, we talked a little bit about this before. I've run into multiple people, like more people than most people than you would think. And this is not something people talk about, right? Because
Yeah.
there's some embarrassment there. And but you'll get a message, maybe in your email, maybe on your WhatsApp. And some people are like, "What's WhatsApp?" Right? Some people listen, it's another messaging platform or a Telegram or something like that, and it will tell you, and it'll be very compelling. I mean, these people are very highly intelligent. I've had some highly intelligent, very successful people tell me, and they're actually working with Guardian Rock now. Some of them are my clients now.
Oh,
That they're very mistrusting of anyone now because that WhatsApp suddenly they trade make one trade based on a recommendation. Sometimes they don't charge you anything. They're just like, we're going to tell you this information for free, and that's when
yeah.
your radar should really go up. But you'll make one trade and you'll make money. You'll make another trade, maybe three, maybe four trades, and they'll all be winners. And then suddenly, once you put even more money into this quote unquote system, you'll do a trade and you'll lose like 100% or 70 or 80 or 90% and things like that. People that I know personally, I have talked to, one of them is my client now, have lost up to $1 million. And that is a pure scam. You have to really, yeah, and most of the rest of them that I know have lost like hundreds of thousands, but that is a lot of money to lose just because you're listening to the wrong people.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that I can't emphasize this enough. No matter how smart you are, I mean, doctor, one of these was a doctor. One of them was a lawyer and tried to get his money back, and there's no getting that money back
Oh
because
yeah,
these
no.
people disappear.
Like
You
that.
cannot find them.
Yeah.
Is it illegal? Yes, of course it is. But the federal government and everybody else can't find these guys, and they have bigger fish to fry, frankly. So you will not get your money back if that happens to you. So be very careful with that. Do your own research, learn on your own, trade the paper money, as Matthias was talking about first. And if you don't have the time or the wherewithal to really do it, stick with investing rather than trading.
Yes.
It's slower.
100%.
It's maybe a little bit more boring, but that's what you call Guardian Rock Wealth for, and we can help you with that. And what we do too, Matthias, here at Guardian Rock Wealth is we not only do that. That's only part of what we do. We also help you manage wealth and manage your taxes
Oh,
because
nice.
taxes is the biggest expense that you will ever have. It's not your car or your rent, it's taxes, right? And I'm
Definitely.
sure, Matthias, I can see by
Oh
the
my
look on your face
God.
right now, you know a little bit about taxes. When was the first time that you realized, oh, darn, I have to pay taxes on all of these gains? Which, good for you, you made the gains, right?
Yeah.
Taxes are a champagne problem, is what I call it. But
Yes.
tell us a little bit
Oh
about that.
man. Oh my goodness. So I was going into my second semester at NIU. So it's around kind of like tax season. So like December, January. My family has a accountant and like a tax person to do our taxes. They've been in the whole business aspect probably for the past like 30 years. So like they're very trusting. They do like my parents' taxes, my siblings' taxes. So then when it was my turn, I was like, oh wait, I have to pay taxes on all of those gains. They're
Uh-huh.
like, yeah. I was like, oh my God. Okay. So it's definitely oh man, I'm still trying to like not recover, but like mentally, I was like, wow. I was just not ready for that because she called me and she was like, hey, do you by any chance have any of your um trading gains that you made? I was like, I do. Why? She was like, yeah, you know you're gonna have to pay taxes on that, right? I was like, you're joking. She was like, yeah, no. So we made it work out luckily, but I realized that, and from then on out, I was like, okay, I'm going to either pay uh quarterly taxes. I might just end up doing that because my parents have told me, hey, just do that because it could be a
Yeah,
lot
just pay
easier.
quarterly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that. But yeah, it was definitely a shock to me.
Yeah. 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 That's part of what guarding does. In investing, it's easier to control your taxes, and
Yeah.
you can do different things in different accounts depending on, what you open up and what type of account is. We won't get into that today, but when you're trading, man, that is those that you don't think about it. You're just like, oh, I made a gain. This is
I
awesome. Well,
sure
remember
did
that gain
not.
is less whatever your tax rate is on it. And that's happening with the crypto too, by the way, is that, as people
Ooh,
begin to use it to actually spend on things, like they'll actually
yeah.
go out and buy something with it. You can do that now in certain instances. Here's the problem. Every time you buy something, that's a liquidation of an asset, which means that you have to calculate your gain on it. So think about that. If crypto ever gets to the point, the way the laws are now, if crypto ever gets to the point where you can take it to the grocery store
Hmm.
and pay Bitcoin for a loaf of bread, you're going to have to calculate your taxable gain on that every single time. So right
Oh my.
now, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So
Hopefully not, because oh man, that would bring a lot of oh man,
yeah,
that'd
that
be
would
a
be
lot.
that would be a nightmare for sure. But so tell me, I know you've kind of gone over this again, but if you could tell like a young person or somebody, a lot of people my age, they get to the point where, and they're like, oh man, I'm only so many years away from retirement. How could I quickly make up for all the years that I didn't save for retirement? And so they
Mm,
look and they're like, oh, let's do trading because I heard you can make a gazillion dollars in like half an hour, that
yeah,
kind of stuff. What would you say to them? What has been your experience with that?
I'll give my kind of like my top three. One, I had mentioned earlier. You and I mentioned it. Do your research. Find trustworthy people. If it sounds too good to be true, then more than likely it probably is. Two, understand that paper trading is important. Don't try to rush it. Don't try to do paper trading for 1 week. You win two trades and you're like, oh yeah, I got this. Oh yeah, I can do this. I'm gonna make 100% return. Like, don't try to rush it. Take your time and be very serious about it because this is a very serious thing. And the last thing I would say, and something I wish I had knew a lot earlier, you need money to make money. So I don't, I might just gotta just throw the warning out there. Those who say, "Oh yeah, I flipped $100 into $1 million in over 3 months," John, please correct me if I'm wrong. Is that like financially like impossible?
So I'll be careful and won't say that it's impossible. It is highly, highly improbable and requires that you are not good. You are simply lucky.
Yeah.
And luck is not a strategy, just like hope is not a
Oh yeah.
strategy.
Absolutely not.
So maybe somebody catches something and they just happen to do it. Maybe, but I'm going to say less than the chance of winning the lottery that
Ooh.
can happen.
Oh man. Okay, yeah. That is very, very low. So you definitely need the capital to make a certain amount of kind of percentage that you want to. I always kind of say like a good starting out with trading is like, you know, maybe like just I say whatever you feel comfortable with. That's kind of how I state that.
That
People
you
always
can
ask
lose.
me,
That you can
yes,
lose, and you will be absolutely fine if you lost the entire amount. Because with
exactly.
trading, it is very possible to lose the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
If you miss a signal, you miss a news story, it's just gone.
Man, it
So you got
in
to
an
be
instant.
okay with that in an
Yeah,
instant.
definitely. So, like John said, whatever you're willing to lose, I like that's basically always what I tell people. Hey, whatever you're comfortable with, put that in. And then people always try to like egg on and be like, oh, so like how much is that? How much is that? I'm like, I can't, I'm not going to tell you. It's just you have to tell yourself, I'll use myself as an example. Okay, hey, I'm trying to get into trading. Let me look at how much I make a month or like a year or whatever. Let me see how much I have saved up. Okay, cool. I have like $10,000 saved up. How much am I comfortable losing? To myself, I'm probably would say like 2 to 3 grand. So then I'll put that into the account and then just go from there. But people always ask me that, and I always just say whatever you're comfortable with. I don't try to get
And
too in deep.
and to your point, I think you said you started with $1,000, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
1,000 bucks right on the dime.
smart man, smart man. Yeah, start small. Can't stress that
Absolutely,
enough.
absolutely.
And by the way, I have known crazy smart Yale graduates that have tried to do the trading thing. And man, they know all the calculations and they know how to read all the charts. I mean, we're talking graduates in magna cum laude like Yale
Yeah.
University. And I know this particular individual lost well over $100,000 in short order and decided, you know what, not for me. So guys like you who have taken the time, and it's highly unusual for anyone to take the time, but especially, frankly, no disrespect, actually, a lot of respect for your
Yeah, no,
age, is that
thank you,
at
thank
your
you.
age to be as patient as you have been to get this kind of success in this space is nothing short of amazing, and kudos on that. But one
Thank
thing I
you.
wanted to make sure we cover one more time. Again, I want to be like throw a lot of caution out there. You want to talk to Matthias or someone like him, certainly, and we're going to make sure you know how to contact him down in
Absolutely.
the show notes, and we'll get to that here at the end. Like how ask him how he did it. Find out how. Maybe use his services if this is the way you want to go, because it is possible if you do it correctly and you're patient and all the stuff we've talked about. But tell us a story about how much, like, you can do all the calculations that you want. You can say math is factual. It's absolutely going to happen this way because math is math, right?
Yep.
We do things based on math and facts here. I say that all the time as an investor because that's the way we invest. But I have a time horizon of 5-10 years in many cases, right? You have a time horizon of hours, sometimes
Yeah, it's
days
very small.
maximum. Yeah. So tell us a story about like a news story comes out that you didn't expect. What happens, or what can happen?
I'll use pretty much like the what can happen is I'll use like the same story that I had told about from last year. It can go in the complete opposite direction. It can fall, it can rise. I think I was in a long, and then it fell. And I was like, what just happened? But I did not know. No, I think I didn't know, or I probably just forgot that there was news coming out at like 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I was like, oh my goodness. So, yeah, like John was just saying, you can do all of the analytic work, you can back test crazy, understand the mathematics, the calculations, everything like that. But anything unpredictable happens, it can just either rise or just completely plummet. I think a good example is currently what's going on over in the Middle East right now. I think
Right.
that's a pretty good example.
Yeah,
So
it's right. Almost every day, there's
oh my
some sort of news that comes
God.
out, and the entire market just can go up by 800 points in the Dow or down by 800 points in the Dow,
Nice.
and it just is, right. We can't
Yeah,
predict it. We don't know. As much as we, a lot of people say, oh, I know this is going to happen. Anybody tells me that they know and they're adamant that they know something's going to happen, I automatically know to just turn off my ears. That is
yeah,
not somebody you want to listen to. If they're that positive about an outcome, it's not a good person to be listening to. Yeah.
yeah,
And
definitely.
so, hey, Matthias, how is the best way for people to contact you if they wanted to maybe get some advice or talk to you about what you do? What's the best way for them to contact you?
Definitely by my email. It is maybe you can like, throw it in the description or
I'll put
like
it. Yeah, it'll all be down
pop up
down in the
bar.
show notes. Yep.
Okay, awesome. My email, the best contact me at is Matthias, which is Matthius, as in dog, at the Titan Markets, Markets LLC.com. That is the best way to contact me. I'm always looking at my emails. So I would definitely, respond as quickly as I can. I do offer kind of like different not advisory, but yeah,
Training.
no, not really. Yeah, yeah. I do offer that, please ask me whatever questions that may pop up. I'm a very transparent person. I'm a very honest person. Like, no, I don't even say like, I love to help people because when I started trading, I didn't have really anybody I can like go to and ask questions. I kind of had to just rely on my own knowledge from what my parents have told me over the years and then just the books I was reading. And that's how I was able to accumulate like kind of this big mountain on top of everything. But yeah, definitely please reach out and also reach out to John as well. This was an amazing, amazing podcast. I had such a great time. John, thank you so much for having me. Had an amazing time.
All right. Like I said, one of the most unique guests we've ever had. Definitely, I think you're definitely the youngest. Impressed by everything you've done, and I don't want people to think there's only one way to do things.
Right.
So those of you who are regular listeners to Guardian Rock Wealth, if you're a regular listener to the Building Your Life podcast, guardianrockwealth.com. It'll be down there in the show notes. I am happy to speak with you. If you're still investing the same way that you did 10 years ago, things have changed just because the world has changed and also because the strategies and the things available to you to utilize have changed significantly just in the last 10 years. And I've been doing this 35 years. So they've certainly changed from that long ago. So if you're tired of looking at the same old thing and doing the same old thing and you're like wondering why it doesn't work the same way, then give us a call. Reach out to us at guardianrockwealth.com. Reach out to Matthias, ask him about the way that he works his things. There may even be a combination where you want to put some. I always practice portion control. Make sure you
Yes,
never have too much of your assets in one thing, anything.
absolutely.
So maybe it's a combination working with Matthias, working with Guardian Rock Wealth. Absolutely a fine strategy for some people. Maybe not if you're in retirement, but maybe so if you're the right type of person. So
Yeah.
Again, we Matthias and I both love to help. I'm not going to charge you anything to have a quick conversation and at least steer you in the right direction. So thanks again, Matthias. And
Thank
we
you.
will
Thank
sign
you.
off until next time on the Building Your Life podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, John. I will say one more thing just to the younger audience. Invest as early as possible, please.
Very, very good
I
point.
cannot stress that enough. You have to invest as early as possible.
And parents, encourage your kids to experiment, be willing to, hey, have them if they got $500, whatever, encourage them and teach them because it's not the same as it was 30 years ago. There's no pensions or very few pensions out there. You're going to have to figure this out largely on your own. Your kids
Yeah.
are going to, more so than you did. So be encouraging. One of the things that Matthias mentioned a couple of different times, 3 or 4 different times, how much he appreciates the support of his friends and most importantly his parents. And I think that's something that maybe us as parents need to remember as well, to be that support as well. Let your kids fail a little bit. It'll be good for
Yes.
them, and it will stay with them for the rest of their lives. That's probably one of the best pieces of advice. Hopefully, people stay tuned to hear that. All
Oh,
right, we'll
absolutely.
talk to everybody next time on the Building Your Life podcast.